What's up, guys? Popo here. Thank you very much for coming to the channel. What I want to go over today is something really cool. Now, I love using the MPC, but I love using other gear as well. So to use them both is to use a MIDI. So we're going to use MIDI in and MIDI out on the MPC. Whether you have an X, Live, one, it doesn't matter. But we're going to go MIDI out of the MPC into your device. Out of your device back in MIDI to the MPC. Okay, so you kind of have a little loop going, but you got to have both wires in order for this to work. You can do this USB, but we're doing this MIDI today, and I want to go over the settings that you need. So first off, on the MPC, we're going to start off with an empty project. We got our two MIDI cables plugged in, going out into the synth, out of the synth, back into this MPC. Sounds weird, but we're going to hit menu, go to preferences, and these are the settings that I have on my MPC. Go to MIDI sync, keyboard, port, global. That's how I have mine. MIDI port, sync, enable MIDI ports when discovered, yes. MIDI control mode output is going to be MIDI port. Mine doesn't give me any other option, none, so put it on MIDI port. Receive, I'm not worried about receiving anything. It's just going to receive clock or time code if I want. I'm going to leave that off. I will receive MMC. I'm sending MIDI clock from here because I'm using this as my sequencer. Okay? And that's it. So those are the settings that we need on the MPC. Let's jump over to the Yamaha Montage, and then we'll see exactly the settings that we need on here for these to communicate. Again, I'm going out of the Montage MIDI, out, and then back in. Okay, it's just weird, but like I say, you can use a USB cable, but I'm using just MIDI. I don't have a long USB. When you start your Montage or your synth, you want to go into your utilities and then go into your MIDI in-out settings. Right now on a Montage, it looks like this. You want to go to where it says MIDI I/O. Down here, it says USB. I set mine to MIDI. Receive and transmit. That's all I did. I got my MIDI in-out channel 1. All I did, but I did turn off local control. If you turn on this local control right here, it's going to double the sound whenever you play it back. I don't even want to demonstrate, but trust me on that. You leave local control off, and then you're good to go. So let's see what that does on here. And I want to show you, while I'm pushing buttons on the MPC, it'll populate over here. So each one of these little elements would be considered a track. So if one part has, these are 8 different parts, so 8 different tracks. Now if it has 2 elements per track, it's going to use another one. I'll demonstrate right now. So I go over here to the MPC. We have it all set. And the cool thing about doing this, we're going to go here to MIDI channel 1, program. When I change this, you'll see it change. But okay, with MIDI 001, we got to make sure the port is MIDI port, and then program change. When I turn this, it will change on the screen. See, that track has 2 parts to it. Okay, so if I want to add another track, I go to MIDI channel 2. Now 1 and 2 are taken, obviously. You see 2 spots taken, so you go to 3. Or MIDI channel 3. You see MIDI channel 2 is taken, so we got to add MIDI channel 3. Make sure the port's selected, and now it'll give us MIDI channel 3. Okay, let's do that again. Repetition is the key here. Go to track 3, MIDI, MIDI 4. Let's go to track 4, okay? Just to make it all jive here. 4/4 MIDI port. Okay. That changed the whole program of the thing. We didn't want to do that. Fuck. Okay. So program 1, MIDI channel 1. Program 2, MIDI channel 2. It doesn't work because we use 2 tracks. 3. Make sure it's 3, 3. MIDI port. You got to make sure that that MIDI channel is selected before you start turning this, because it will erase everything you did. See, it'll add to 3 now, watch. Because we got MIDI channel 3, program 3. But if you don't change that first, it'll do what was happening earlier. It kept erasing what we were doing. So the right way to do it is go to MIDI channel. Let's see, we got MIDI channel 3 open. Want to make sure 3 selected first. The program, the port, and then the program. Okay. Now we'll go to 4. Now we'll go to 5. See how it kind of works like that? We'll go to 6, 7. It's just cool to be able to do this because now I can play my parts on the MPC, of course, and pad perform and everything like that. However, I can use the montage still to send signals to the MPC in case I just want to use the keys that are over here. When I push on these keys on the MPC, you can see on by track it's showing that I'm triggering the MIDI channel because I have it set that way on the MIDI settings. So for each track, now I can go in here and there's ways to select different sounds and everything on this specific board. But I wanted to show that the MIDI setup that you have and it's really, really neat because now you can go into your mutes and you have your different parts. If you're familiar with working, now you can sequence out your different tracks the same way that you can on the montage with your different scenes. However, if you have like another synthesizer that you're hooking up, you can go out MIDI B, MIDI C, or if you have an MPC X, you can go out MIDI D as well and control a whole lot of stuff in your studio with just the MPC. That's why I love it as a sequencer, my main sequencer. But yeah, to use this with just your different scenes is very, very cool. And I did make a video on how you can chain them together to make a full song. Very, very dope. But I wanted to see how to hook it up and share how to hook it up on the MPC. So if we want to go one more time here, we want to get a sound for 8. Let's go over here to the MPC. We'll hit main. We'll go to track 8. MIDI channel 8. Just to keep it organized, we'll go to 8. And MIDI channel 8. See how I changed that? I erased everything. No? Okay, good. Because I didn't select the MIDI port. Good. MIDI channel. Let's try 9. How about 2? We got 2's empty. Let's go to track 2. 2. MIDI channel 2. There we go. Now we'll go to track 8. MIDI channel 8. Sorry. And you got to start at 1. Pink. Popped up. See? Now you can scroll through your sounds per channel. It's kind of dope and it works different on every synth, but that's how you hook it up. All we did, menu, preferences, MIDI sync. We went to our settings here. Okay. And then make sure on your synthesizer that you're using, whenever you go to your utilities, make sure that through is turned off or that local control is turned off. And you're good to receive and transmit MIDI data. And like I say, on here is really, really cool. You know, every keyboard's different, but I can go through each one of these scenes and save them, the mix per scene, and then chain them together. But if you like the MPC workflow where you can just, it's either or. I just like to know how they all work together. So again, if you have any questions on this, I know it was kind of rocky, but I just wanted to show that it's really, really dope. And you can go through here and select your different sounds. Oh. And again, some of them are different, but I haven't gone in here and actually changed the sounds that I like, and I figured out a way how to get into this other side of the keyboard with the different sounds on it. Again, I'm Polypopo. I hope this was a great video, and I worked hard on it. It took a little bit of time for me to do over and over. I know it's probably crackly and poppy, but thanks for watching, and if you know anybody who needs help with MIDI setup, send them this video. It might help. Thanks again. I'll see you on the next one.